Hi, I'm Jenna, also known as RetroLemon, and this is episode 86. Busy week. So much going on here. And I got Lucy here. She's on my lap. You probably can't see her. She was sitting in my chair. Say hi, Lucy. Say hi. So you're getting so big. She's just a purring away. I don't know how long she'll last. But, so a big hello and welcome to new and returning viewers. And let's get down to business. So we had our Mario the Artistic Rabbit knit along finish up. And super cute. I loved that the bunnies ranged anywhere from really bright and colorful to more natural colors. And there were little bunnies and big bunnies. And it was so much fun to see them all. And so I decided, since our current knit-alongs have a sponsor, I guess you'd say, for a prize, I decided, since people were going to knit one of my patterns, that I would offer up a prize of one of my patterns free. And so there were 5 entries in time. 6 entries. One person squeaked in at the end, is what it was. So there were 6 entries. So what I did is I just went to the top of the thread and I clicked the picture only button, so only the pictures came up. So then I just went through and counted how many entries there were, and then did random number, so 1 through 6, and random number generator picked number 3, who is Scrappy Lad, who's also known as Ross. And I love following him on Instagram because he'll take pictures like in process of the toys he makes, and he has like the cutest dog. So Ross, please PM me and let me know you have your choice of any one of my patterns. And if you want to wait, I have 2 patterns that are probably coming out this month. One is a toy and one is a non-toy. So, the toy will be out mid-month, and the other item will probably be out maybe closer to the end of the month if you want to wait. If not, just let me know. So, your choice. Like I said, I don't mind waiting. If you want to wait and see, that's perfectly fine with me, because I want you to like what you get. So, then our current knit-along is the Adopt-A-Blob monster. So I love him. So this one is made out of Highland Handmaids in the white ash worsted. And the color is called Terracotta Pot. But I talked, when I first showed this, that it kind of, when I knit the arms, it kind of reminded me of woolly bears. Because, I don't know, I'm like, does everybody know what a woolly bear is? I'm like, this kind of like occurred to me, like later. I'm like, well, like my friend Annette, who lives in Arizona, I mean, they don't have woolly bears in Arizona. I mean, she's lived other places, so she probably knows what a woolly bear is. But for those of you who might not know what a woolly bear is, it's like a fuzzy caterpillar, and they get like, I don't know, yay big. Like maybe 1.5 to 2 inches. They don't usually get too big. Once in a while I see a really big one. But they're real fuzzy caterpillars, and they're orange in the middle with, my husband and I debate whether it's black or brown on the ends. So anyways, the arm kind of looks like a woolly bear because it has the orange. So in the back of my mind, this colorway is known as woolly bear, even though if you were to go ask Heather of Highland Handmaids for it, it's called Terracotta Pot. So I just had so much fun designing these and giving each one its own little personality. So you can make a blob or it makes a really great ghost, since we are into October. Today's October 2nd. That blows my mind. Because I'm like, where did the year go? It seemed like just the other day it was like January, and now it's October. So, or you can make a ghost. So any way you want to make one, make it however you like and post it in the thread. We have a generous donation from 716 Knit. The other Jenna is going to be sending a skein of yarn, and her and I are kind of cooking something up. I kind of got a request for an idea she had, and I'm going to try to execute it to the best of my ability. It's definitely going to be a challenge for me, but challenges are good, right? They keep you on your toes. So, Adopt a Blob Monster, we're doing it all the way through October. The end of October when I'll be recording is the 30th, and you know, with Halloween coming up and stuff, I really wanted to give everybody fully through the 31st, because I want to see as many blobs as possible. Let your creativity flow, and so you have all month. And then the other knit along, because there just aren't enough, right, is the Entrelock knit along. So that closes out as well at the end of the month. I think, Lucy, here's something. I think that one closes out on the 30th. It's in the thread in the where you put the entry in, so double check that for sure. So I think that one does close on the 30th though at noon. Okay, and a generous viewer is donating a pattern up to $7 as a prize for that knit along. So a huge thank you to the viewer who's doing that. Okay, now all the knit along stuff is out of the way. I have a finished object. So you might remember last week I had my little sock blender with my carrot cake socks, and I got so many cute PMs and messages and stuff about, you know, how people have done similar things, and, you know, that of course I couldn't talk about it and not show it. So that night, that Wednesday night, while I was watching TV in the evening, I took out the Kitchener stitch and had to make sure, I can't even tell now which sock it was, but I had to make sure the stripe lined up right, and I rejoined it, and they are now done. They are officially done, and I've been waiting to show you all them so I can wear them, because it's October. It's like my favorite month of the year, October and November, because it's the cool, crisp weather, and yet it's still the colors, and so I'm so excited. And this is just a basic Afterthought heel pattern. I pretty much have based it off of Laura Linneman's Afterthought heel sock pattern, but I go up a needle size. I like to knit my socks on size 2s, and the stitch count is different. I use 60 stitches, and I think that pattern, which is a free one, so I'm not ruining it, it's like size 1s, and it's like 56 stitches or 64. I just use what works for me. I also add 3 extra rows in the heel to make it deep enough. And they fit me awesome. And the yarn is Desert Vista Dye Works in the Viso base, which is a self-striping, and it is called Carrot Cake. So yay! So excited to have these done. I want to wear them so bad. Although it's supposed to be like 81 here today, and it's not really wool sock weather. Works in progress. Let's see where to start. Alright, we'll start with this one because I had mentioned the Entrelock knit along, and I feel like I have been working on this forever and a day, and I'm sorry if you're sick of hearing about it. But I'm trying to keep up with my own knit along. And it is the Autumn. And I cannot pronounce the designer's name, and I feel absolutely horrible for that. I've tried it in the past. But if you go to my project page, there is a link to the pattern. The pattern has to be bought through a knit shop or an online store. I got my pattern through Webs. I'm also using the yarn the pattern calls for, which is JoJo Land Rhythm, in the M24 colorway, which is also known as Sunflowers. So, okay, last week I was talking about, like, I don't know, like, I wasn't really totally feeling the love for it. Like, I think it was the colors. Because it's very primary. It's very red, blue, and yellow with some green in it. But the funny thing was when I was watching the video back while I was editing, I'm like, that looks so much prettier, like, from a distance to me. Like, I think because I'm, like, when I'm knitting it, I'm up in it, and I'm, you know, I see the color exactly as it is, because it is a marled yarn, so it's 2 to 3 colors that are twisted together at once. But from a distance, like, probably the way you all see it, I'm like, wow, that's really pretty. So I went and I spread it out on my kitchen table because this thing is huge. I mean, it's top down. And then I'm assuming, I haven't read that far in the pattern, but it would only make sense that you go and pick up and put the edging on it. So by the time you block this sucker, it's going to be ginormous, which I like my shawls that way. So I spread it out on my kitchen table, and like seeing the colors from a distance where it's not like blue and yellow or, you know, so they're in your face, and you can stand back and the blue and the yellow kind of, you know, blend a little more to look a little more green. And as for the rest of the colors, I'm like, I like it so much better. So I think I will get more use out of this than I was talking last week. I only got one row done because the rows take forever. All these little individual squares. So only one row done this week because I've been very busy on some other things. But it's coming along. Like I said, once I stood back from it and wasn't just so on it, visually I liked it so much better. So there is hope for it that I'm definitely going to get more use out of it. I think once it's done and blocked and everything, I'm going to absolutely love it. It's definitely going to be a heavy shawl because it is a worsted weight yarn, which I have no problem with. I like worsted weight shawls. One of my all-time favorite shawls is my Tara shawl by Jared Flood, and it's worsted weight, and it probably has gotten the most use because it's a heavier shawl. Okay, then I guess it's kind of like a secret knitting project, but not totally. So I was stash diving, just looking for my, you know, you can look at your stash on Ravelry and not really find anything, and sometimes going and looking for it and finding it in person and touching it and seeing the color, you know, it sings to you. Like, it totally, like, if you watch the Stockinette Zombies, Megan was talking about, you know, the yarn was singing, and that, I had that experience. So I was going through my stash, and I happened to come across this. It's some Madeline Tosh vintage in the Grasshopper colorway. And it sang to me, and it was like, I want you to knit me, right? Like, I'm not going to sing like Megan because I'm not that nuts, but it did. It totally called to me, and I was completely inspired, and I sat down and I started designing something I felt that I needed. So I'm not going to totally show it to you, but here it is. It is on the needles. It is a worsted weight. I am knitting it on size 8s. So it is a fast knit, and I am finally get to use my Caterpillar Designs stitch markers, because I was holding off using them because she generously gave a prize, and I needed 6 stitch markers, so it worked out perfect. And so it's almost done, kinda. I don't know, you're gonna only need 1 skein. It is gonna be a 1 skein worsted weight project, and I am going to recommend a solid or semi-solid for it. So I'm so excited. I have 1 tester already. I need to contact at least a couple more people and see if they're interested, and it'll be out. So it kind of came up so quickly, but sometimes, like, when inspiration strikes, you just run with it, and I'm excited. So, then my last work well, I have a toy design, and I can't show you. I think I have the body pretty much designed, and I need to knit it in its final color, and anything I tell you will totally give it away, I think. So, you'll just have to wait. But I'm super excited about it. It's been something I've been planning to do all year, but I just feel that now is the time to do it, and I'm excited. So, you have and you haven't seen this before if you are a longtime viewer. So, last summer, it was end of July. I think the episode that I first showed it on was like July 23rd or something like that. I tried to go back and check. And I was all excited because I had bought this pattern, a year before I bought the yarn. Like, that's how much I love this pattern. And the yarn was really expensive, and I was saving up for it, and, you know, you buy a skein of yarn here and there, and it cuts into your yarn budget, but I needed a lot of yarn because it's a big sweater. So finally, a year or so after I bought the pattern, I got the yarn. And then I waited to cast it on because I wasn't sure what size to do. So then I decided, because the sweater only comes in 2 sizes, small and large, I decided, well, according to the measurements, I need the large. Well, it has sat for 14 months, and I haven't touched it, and I haven't done anything with it, and I finally was looking through my queue and decided I need to pick something back up. I have way too many works in progress, and I'm totally running out of interchangeable cables because everything's on the needles. And then I decided, well, I'm either going to pick it up and finish it the way it is, or I'm going to frog it. And after much consideration and hemming and humming and hoeing about it, I decided to frog my traveling sweater. So I don't have the pattern here with me, but it is called the Traveling Sweater. Kind of based off the notion of the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, which, if you haven't read the book or seen the movie, I have only seen the movie, and I own the book. I picked it up at a library sale for like $0.25. It was a brand new copy. And I keep thinking I'm going to read it, just because it kind of goes with it. But the premise of the story, or the movie, is that there's this pair of pants that 4 very different friends all look excellent in and fit like a glove. So the sweater was kind of one of those things that everybody who tried it on looked great in it, because it's super, super stretchy, because it's ribbed, and so the large size went up to a size 48-inch bust. So back when I started it, that would have been great. Now, I had a 48-inch bust at the beginning of the year, starting out all this, because if you've been following as well, you know, lots of changes have been happening for me. So now I am down at like a 40 3/4 inch bust when I measured for my weigh-in. So that's 7 1/4 inch difference. There's no way that sweater was going to fit me. And if it did, it was going to look horrible on me. It wasn't going to fit right, and it was going to hang on me. And all that time and effort and the money for the yarn would have been a waste. And why frog it when you're completely done? So I decided to frog the sweater. I was probably about halfway done with it. I had 5 out of the 8 wedges done, which I'll show you in a minute, explain to what a wedge is. So 5 out of 8 wedges done, and then there was just sleeves and seaming. So yeah, pretty much halfway, maybe a hair over halfway. And yeah, I just frogged it, all of it. And a friend had said, well, you know, if you frog it, you might not want to cast on the same thing. You might find a different purpose for the yarn, or, you know, just whatever. And that kind of stuck in the back of my head, because I didn't want that to happen, because I really love the pattern. So I frogged it, and I cast on right away. Like, I frogged it, cast it right back on. So I've been working on this. I think I frogged it Thursday, and I have now done 3 wedges. So from one stitch marker to the other, so essentially from this stitch marker to this one, or from this stitch marker to the beginning, is a wedge. And it is called a wedge because it does, you know, it flares out. There's lots of short row shaping, and it flares out. So it'll make, when it's all done, a circle. So then the circle will connect. It'll come back around here, and this is actually goes across your lower back. And I wish I had the picture. The pattern is in the other room because I don't need it, because it's easy enough to remember. Anyways, it's super stretchy, like an accordion, right? And the smaller size is supposed to fit up to a 40-inch bust. Oh, Lucy. Oh, don't snag it. She's down there. She's like batting at it. So, it is 2x2 ribbing with sport weight yarn on size 3 needles. Yeah. So like I said, the pattern is called the Traveling Sweater, and it's by A. Karen Alfke. And then the yarn is Blue Moon Fiber Arts in the Woo Boo base in the Ravenscroft colorway. So it's gray, and it has like splotches in it of like a forest green and an avocado green, and it's very subtle. Like sometimes, like right now sitting here, I can see a lot of the green in it, but there are other times, and I doubt the camera will pick it up, there are other times where I can't see the green at all. So I'll hold it up. Like I said, I don't think the camera is going to pick it up. But it's super soft. The yarn is really nice. Now I had originally bought 5 skeins of this because that's what the pattern called for the larger size. And the skeins aren't little. The skeins, I actually set one over here. The skeins are huge. So now that I'm making the smaller size, I probably will only need like 3. So that means I have 2 of these that I have not skeined up. I only skeined up 3. So I pretty much have, it's 620 yards in one thing, so I pretty much have enough to do a whole nother garment. So you'll probably see this yarn again later down the road. I have no desire when I'm done with this to cast it on anytime soon, but it will be, I might as well use it, right? So that's it. That's my traveling sweater. 3 wedges done. So I'm more than halfway done with what I had ripped out. Very exciting about that because I love the pattern. I have loved the pattern now for years. I've had the pattern for probably 2.5, 3 years at least. And I'm really wanting to get it done so I can wear it. I'm like, I've waited too long to get it done. So with the whole thing of taking apart or frogging the traveling sweater, I have decided that it felt good to frog the sweater that I knew wasn't going to fit. So I went through my closet and I just wanted to show because I'm going to do the same thing, but I actually have finished sweaters. So this is the Lucy cardigan by C2 Knits, and I made this last fall, and it was big on me to begin with, and now it's just, I swim in it. So once again, I love this sweater. I really, really, really love it. It was made out of Cascade 220 and some Noro, and I have decided that I am going to frog this sweater and reknit it. I'm excited about it. I'm really, really, really looking forward to it because I really like the style of the sweater. It is a seamless sweater. And so I'm going to reknit it as well. And I know that sounds nuts, right? Like I'm going to completely... But I'm like, oh my god, I will have yarn left over. And then it makes me so sad that at the beginning of the year, the day I started Weight Watchers is the same day I cast on my vodka lemonade, which I've never wove the ends in. I've never blocked it, like nothing. I finished it, and it already didn't fit. Which, it didn't fit real well under the arms. Like, by the time I started the arms, there was just so much extra fabric that, and that was my fault. So, I don't know that I'm going to make the vodka lemonade again. I don't know. I really like the yarn. It's Knit Picks in the lemon curd colorway. Knit Picks, what's it called? City Tweed. I really like the color. I don't know. I don't know that I want to knit the vodka lemonade again. Especially with, disappointing with how the fit of the underarms were. Because you were supposed to knit until a certain point or measure, and I couldn't measure because I didn't have a cable long enough, and I don't know, I was too lazy to take the time to do the trick with the cable, and I'm like, I like things simple. Simple, simple, simple. And then the other thing I'm planning on frogging is I test knit this shawl, and I'm not going to say the designers, I'm not going to say the name of the pattern, it's in my project pages if you're really nosy, and it was supposed to look like the shawl that the now Duchess Kate, they weren't married yet, I don't think. I think they were just engaged. Anyways, that she wore, and it's made out of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes in the black berry colorway, so it's a very, very deep purpley plum. And the pattern for the shawl was well written, but when you got to the ruffle, the designer totally flaked. Like, she quit responding to the forum, because I did this in the free pattern testers group, gave us no instruction on how to do the ruffle, so we were all kind of on our own. She quit responding to our PM, she didn't reply to the thread anymore. I mean, it was a mess. And so I'm not happy with the ruffle I did, and no one liked the ruffle. I don't know many people that were overly happy with the pattern because we just didn't know what to do. So it took me 8 skeins of Wool of the Andes, so that's like just under 880 yards that I used out of the 880 I had available. And I want to find something to make with this. So there are some like knitted vest patterns I was looking at, because if I was like skinny, I could make a little sweater out of it, but because I'm not a small or an extra small, it's not quite enough for a sweater quantity of yarn. I don't want to order more. It's not, I don't know why I picked this color. I guess because it was like a royal deep purple color to me, you know, and she was the future princess. Unless I don't think they were married yet. I really don't think they were married. Or they were newlyweds. I don't remember. Anyway, so that's why I picked the purple, because it was like a royal color to me. It's not something I would normally wear. But, like I said, I was thinking maybe they're like a vest or something. So, but it felt so good. So if you have something sitting around and it doesn't fit right, or you don't like it, frog it and reuse it. There is no shame in that, because I'm telling you, I put too much work in it to just give it away and or to waste the yarn. Lucy, what are you doing? She's such a curious little cat. Okay, oh, I had something to show you and I didn't set it over here. Where did I set it? Because I swear I put it over here. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to grab it because I really, really need to show you. So I got a call from the lady at the post office for my P.O. boxes, because it's a little post office, and that's why I chose to have my P.O. box at that one, because I had a couple options to pick from, post office-wise, to have my post office box. And this one, it's the smallest post office, and, well, one of them. I guess there's a smaller one. I don't know, because I had like 3 or 4 options. Anyways, I chose this one because I really like the people that work there, and it's a smaller one, and I just feel like the people there are nicer. And just, you know, so I got a call from the girl at the post office saying, you have a package, and I don't know if you were expecting one or not, but I just wanted to let you know, which I appreciated because I didn't know. And I was thinking, I have no reason to go to the post office this week, probably, so, you know, I wouldn't have known it was there. So, she's like, well, it's a box. I'm like, a box? She's like, yeah, it's a box. You know, I'm like, oh, okay. So, I was like, well, I'll come get it right now. So, I ran up there, and I got this box, and I'm looking at the return address, and I'm like, I think I know who that is. Like, the name sounds really familiar. I think I know who that is. So, I opened it up, and I pulled it out, and oh my goodness, I squealed. Like, I opened it at the post office, and the girl was like, that is so cute. Look at this. Ready? It's an owl bag from Pixie Knits. I so wasn't expecting it. The lovely Leslie, who is Pixie Knits on Ravelry, and she has an Etsy shop called Pixie Knits where she makes and sells bags. And she included this lovely note. It's a beautiful card, and it's like one of those, it's like 3-dimensional. Beautiful card. Thanking me so much for the owl class she took at the retreat, and just, it was really sweet, and I love it. I love this so much. I love the bright aquas and the yellows and the orange and brown and blue owls, and I'm so in love with this bag. So it has a really nice zipper, and it's yellow, and it's lined with yellow on the inside, and it's completely finished, and it's, I mean, this is a well-constructed bag with a really nice handle, and it's like, a little, just slightly puffy. Like there's a little bit of like batting or something in it. It's not like too thick. It's not fluffy like a pillow, but it's sturdy and it's nice and it stands up nice and your needles are not going to poke through. And I am just so super appreciative, Leslie. Thank you so much. I love it. I'm so excited. And it has her cute little tag, Pixie Knits. And then she also included a button, which I'm super excited because I don't have a knitting game button. So that'll go on my button bag. And really nice. Like I said, she has a shop on Etsy called Pixie Knits. And it's just, oh, it's such a nice bag. And it's a big bag. And it totally made my day and made me feel really special. So, like I said, thank you, Leslie. Okay, lastly but not least, I have a magazine review. And it's not a Vogue. I haven't gotten the new Vogue yet. I haven't seen it around here. But it is the new Knit Simple, which is put out by Vogue, if you didn't know. So it is the holiday 2013 issue, and I bought it on a whim. It was like an impulse buy, because I always buy their holiday issue, because usually there's stuff that I really like in it. And this one was just kind of meh. Like, I could take it or leave it. Like, I don't... Lucy, what are you doing? She's batting, like, the string on my bag. I don't know. It's not... There really weren't any articles that blew me away, because I always like to read the articles in Vogue. I give Vogue credit. As hideous as I think some of the designs are, they always have really good articles. So with this being the holiday issue, there are lots of little projects. Now, one that I liked was this vest. I like that it came in sizes for the whole family. So, you know, there's a women's size, a men's size, and a kid's size. Or an adult size. I don't know if there's different men or women. Anyways, so I really like the chevron pattern, but there's this, like, weird thing at the top. And I just would omit that part. I would just leave it plain chevrons. But it has a hood. It's super cute. And I had never, I don't know if I just don't, since I only usually buy the holiday issues of Knit Simple, there's lots of Red Heart advertisements, and a lot of the patterns use Red Heart yarn. Which is just kind of funny to me, because you would think with it being a Vogue publication, they'd be a little more snooty. I don't particularly like it, but if other people do. Now, a pattern that I really like, that I would really like to make some of these for my living room, are the chevron pillows. Now, there's one pillow, it has 3 different colors. The other pillow has 2 different colors, and then there's a pillow over here that has chevrons, and the chevrons alternate knit and pearls. So one chevron stripe is knitted, the other's purled. So I thought it was super cute. I love these. Now, they wouldn't go in my house because they were blue, but that's the great thing. With knitted stuff, you can make them whatever color you want. And then I really like these. These are different dishcloths, and it's for the Kitsy kitchen. There is a stovetop, and then a microwave, and a radio, and a refrigerator. So they're like retro-looking appliance dishcloths. So those I thought were cute. I'd knit those for myself, especially the little radio one. I love the radio one. And, let's see, what else was there? Now, one thing, I guess they're trying to bring back the pocket scarf. Now, when I started crocheting in 07. So, like 6 years ago, pocket scarves were really big then. I kept seeing tons of patterns for pocket scarves. And I don't get the comeback. They're not something I would make. So, that's just me. And another thing that I'm like, I've seen this a lot in Vogue and in Knit Simple. So, I guess I don't buy a lot of knitting magazines anymore. There just hasn't been many that have totally wowed me. But one thing I don't understand are collars. So, there's like this one and these. I would never make one. I would never wear one, and I don't know anybody that would. But there must be somebody out there. Now, one that I kind of liked, it looks like, I mean, it's almost, I don't know, I guess it's not quite reversible. I'm trying to read. It's a cowl vest. So it's like a vest and it buttons up and it flips down. So it's really, I thought that was cute. And then the one on the other side is just a plain sweater with a cowl. Which, I don't know, I didn't like the sleeves here because the cuff is really long and it's ribbed, and it, in my opinion, it just doesn't match anything else on the sweater, and it looks a little out of place. There was a Vogue issue that had like a Batwing sweater. Now, I don't get the bat wings because all I can think of is if you need to wear a jacket or a coat, it doesn't fit. Like, it's going to bunch up and it's going to be uncomfortable. And then I just think it makes you look heavier. But that's just me, not a fan of the bat wings. A big thing that caught my eye of the magazine was the cover sweater, which is just a basic, I was looking for the name, just a garter stitch jacket. And I like the color of the yarn, which is a Red Heart yarn, which I'm like, I would knit it in Noro. That's just me. Not slamming Red Heart for all you Red Heart lovers out there. I'm just not one of them. But the colors are really pretty. I really, really like the greens and the blues and the tans. And then the same sweater can be a vest, which I'm not a fan of the vest. So you just leave off the collar and the sleeves. So it's versatile, and I think either one of these would be a really great option if you are a newer knitter or maybe you've never made a sweater. It looks like a really good option for somebody. So there's some other stuff. There's some cowls. There's a blanket. Just some hats. Nothing, in my opinion, that like stands out and wows me. The last couple years, the holiday issues have had Susan B. Anderson toys, and there's like the little fairies. Oh my goodness, the fairies are like the cutest little toys ever, right? Still never made one, but I have the magazine if I decide I want to. But like I said, I bought it and I didn't even look at it because I always buy the holiday one, and it was just meh. So there's my review for the Knit Simple. Like I said, a lot of good basic stuff. If you're looking for something really special, I don't feel it's in there. So that's it for the knitting because I've done no spinning, and like I said, I should have my pattern in the lemon bag finished today, and hopefully to test knitters by the end of the week, and really excited about that. Excited about the new toy coming out. I think you're going to love it. And then don't forget blobs. So if you leave me now, that's it for the knitting. And I will see you next week. And if you're sticking around, we're moving into a slice of life. So, I talked about, the traveling sweater. It felt so good to frog that sweater, right? So then, I had mentioned last week how I still had my fat pants. Like, I had not gotten rid of, a lot of my clothes. Like, I gotten rid of some. Like, it was easy to go through it first and get rid of, like, maybe the biggest stuff or the stuff that just, I don't know, was kind of, like, worn and that I had for a while. And to buy new, I had some new stuff that I had already grown out or shrunk out of because I didn't grow into them. Anyways, so I was talking about it being a crutch. Well, then I was talking to somebody who, I just mentioned, she's just going through a lot right now in her life, and she just and was to top it all off, I think I'm the heaviest I've ever been, and none of my clothes fit, and I just don't have the money to buy new right now, and she wasn't whining or complaining about it. She was just talking about things, you know, I mean, I don't want to make this person sound whiny or anything, but just, like, just totally mentioned it, and she, you know, she was having a rough day and needed someone to talk to, and so I went home, and after I talked to her, I went through all my stuff. Like, I can't remember if I was at home on the phone with her or whatever. But anyway, so I did. I went through and I got rid of anything that didn't fit anymore. Now, I have a handful of shirts that are on the roomy side, but I'll still wear them. But other than that, I cleaned out everything that didn't fit. Got rid of it all. And anything that I thought was this person's style, because, like, she's not a dress person, so I didn't send any of my dresses. But I sent tons of, there were like 12 pairs of pants between jeans and khakis and capris, and some sweaters and some shirts, and, like I said, some stuff I had I totally know was not her style, and it felt so good. When I went and dropped it off, and there were 2 really huge, like, shopping bags full. I dropped them off, and I left them there, and I swear it physically felt like 20 more pounds came off of me. It felt so good. Like, I did not even have a clue how good that would feel to get rid of those. I mean, it was like this huge emotional weight, like I said, like that crutch, like, it was letting it go, realizing I didn't need it anymore, and it was awesome. So I did it. So it's so funny that I had talked last week about, you know, having that, and then the opportunity came to let it all go, and I did, and it just felt so good. So, it's so funny because I posted a picture on Instagram. I had bought a sweater dress, months ago, and I posted a picture of me in the dress on Instagram, and my husband and I went out Friday night, and we went to, and got Chinese food at my favorite out-of-the-way place, and it's a kind of drive, and he had never been there. I'm like, I don't know how we've been together, like, almost a decade and a half, or about a decade and a half, and he's never been there. I don't know how that's happened. So, we went to my favorite Chinese place, and I wore this dress, and everybody's compliments on Instagram were so nice. Now, I think some people are concerned, because they made it sound like they were concerned, that I'm going to continue to lose weight. Because, you know, a lot of people are like, you look great, you've got to be close to your goal. And I still have 25 to 35 pounds till I hit my goal. And I know that sounds like a lot. But I have not mentioned my exact weight or my exact size, because that's not important. To me, it's not a number and it's not a size. But, so I guess in, like, confession here, I'm only down right now to a size 12. So my goal is to hit single digits. Now, I've been asked, like, numerous times, like, if I have, like, what my end goal is, or if I have an end goal, and I do. Like, I think I finally have an end goal. So I have a number and a size, and whatever one I hit first is where I will stop. So I'm not striving to hit necessarily one or the other. It's kind of where I hit first is where I will stop. And I know what's too small for me and too light for me, and I totally am in reality with that. So I appreciate everybody's concern, and I appreciate all the comments. I mean, I felt like I was rocking that sweater dress, and I had bought some tights online. I had keep tights in these little black leather boot things that I've had forever that I finally can wear comfortably. I don't know, because when you're heavy, it's all that weight pushing down on heels, and heels are even more painful to wear. So I was able to wear them and be comfortable, and so like I said, super, super appreciative for all the comments, and I understand the concern, but sometimes I think maybe I look thinner than what I am, especially coming from where I have. So, like I said, I have an end game, I now have a goal, and I have either a size or a weight, whichever one I hit first is where I will stop. And it is obtainable, and my goal is just to hit, like, single digits. Like, an 8 would be awesome. I guess I'll say that the smallest size I will allow myself to hit is a 6. because I think anything smaller would be too small for me and for my build. But an 8 is kind of where I strive. So, I mean, I'm still technically overweight by like 20 pounds. So, the whole BMI thing I talked about a few weeks ago, a month ago, or whatever it was, you know, I mean, I still have weight to lose. You know, while I am looking much better, there is still a way to go. So, just being honest, just putting it out there, because I got a lot of comments about, you know, being close to my goal. And lots of PMs of people concerned, which I appreciate. But, I mean, at this point, there is not a reason to be overly concerned. So, I do have a doctor's appointment coming up next month, where I will get all checked out and definitely get the okay to continue going. Like I said, I'm still overweight according to the BMI scale. So, no worries. So, it's all good. I'm doing it safe. I'm doing it slowly. It does seem like it is coming off fast, but I've also been diligent. So, there's just some things I don't eat anymore. Like mayonnaise, nothing with mayonnaise in it, which sucks because I freaking love mayonnaise. Like, hardcore love mayonnaise. But no mayonnaise anymore. I mean, there's just certain things like that. Nothing fried anymore, although I did have sweet and sour chicken at the Chinese restaurant, which was fried. It's like the first fried thing I had had in forever. So that's where that is. Like I said, I just want to talk about that because I understand and I appreciate the concern, but I promise I'm being smart about it and taking it slowly and just one day at a time. And this week I lost 0.7 after maintaining last week, so that's fine. I am down 65.3 pounds. So, getting there slowly but surely. Yay! So, okay, that's it for me this week. I feel like this was like a long episode, like I chattered a lot, but I feel like I had a lot to say. So, I am Jenna, also known as RetroLemon on Ravelry, Plurk, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, Weight Watchers, and Fitbit. And until next week, I'll see you then. Bye.